hopefully, hopefully, the future of the City Girls can beat the City Girls. And I pray that our egos does not like separate it, or the internet, or guys, or like nothing. You get what I'm trying to say?
Y'all, come on in the room because it looks like the City Girls are down 100. There have been rumors about the City Girls being on the outs with each other for the longest time, but the drama just got serious. GT just came out to confirm the tea that she and Miami are no longer friends. But GT took it to a new level when she name-dropped Miami's former sugar daddy, Diddy, and accused him of playing mind games with the City Girls. This supposedly caused them to fall out with each other, especially convincing Miami that she's better off without JT and she doesn't need her. Y'all, get into this room because we're about to spill all the tea that is next level crazy.
An opinion. Y'all think y'all opinion matter? Go clock in. Fuck is wrong with you?
Okay, so at this point, I think we can all agree that the City Girls are over and done with because they've been taking shots at each other, acting messy, and listen, there's just a lot to deal with when it comes to these two. It's kind of sad how they went from being besties to being enemies who barely acknowledge each other's existence. According to JT, we all have Diddy to blame for that. Rumors about their breakup have been swirling for nearly 2 years, but now it's official. They both confirmed that they're embarking on solo careers. Sometimes artists from a group go solo without actually leaving the group, but neither of them has said anything about the City Girls leading fans to conclude the group might actually be splitting up. It's not uncommon for groups to part ways, even if it's just a duo like the City Girls, but I think we all thought that they'd stick it out a little bit longer. Even if they were going to break up eventually, we expected it to happen further down the road. I mean, they only started gaining traction in 2018 or 2019 after they showed up in Drake's music video for In My Feelings. They were smart enough to capitalize on the attention to boost their own careers. They have been close friends since their teenage years and kicked off their rap journey as a duo. They used to perform in strip clubs when they were just 17. Well, shortly after gaining popularity, the City Girls faced a setback when GT was arrested and convicted of aggravated identity theft, landing her in prison. The timing couldn't have been worse because it happened just a couple of weeks after Drake's hit, In My Feelings, dropped. The girls were blowing up on social media. At first, folks thought Yungmiami might go solo. I mean, JT got hit with the 2-year sentence right when their career was taking off. After years of grinding, no one would have faulted Miami for striking out on her own, but she stuck beside JT, proving herself as a loyal friend. During GT's 2 years behind bars, Miami held it down for the City Girls. Yungmiami had solo performances, even paying out money to DJs to spin their tracks in clubs, all this out of her own pocket. Whenever she talked about the City Girls, she made sure GT got her props too, and she just hyped GT up. It was all free GT from Yungmiami. What's cool is JT didn't take Miami's loyalty for granted. When she got out in 2020, she was super grateful to Miami for having her back. In her songs, JT's first day out, she rapped, "I've been a real B way before the fair case. Yungmiami held me down, that's a B ace. And if a B try her, it's a cold case. Get your snatched up like my new waist." It seemed like they were going to ride or die for each other for the long haul. But then, back in 2022, fans started picking up on some tension between them. It looked like Miami was no longer riding for JT like she used to. People noticed Miami distancing herself from JT in public. At first, they figured maybe it was because Miami was getting cozy with Diddy, feeling like she leveled up and left JT behind. But let's be real, Miami's playing with Diddy did open doors JT didn't even have access to. Case in point, Yungmiami launched her Carisha Please brand, selling clothes, merch, and much more. She even got her own talk show, Carisha Please, on Diddy's Revolt TV, bagging a B-Heat award for it. Now, don't get me wrong, JT's holding her own, and she's been rocking with Lil Uzi Vert for a minute, securing her own bag too. But Miami's ties to Diddy were a whole different ballgame, and people couldn't stop putting them against each other and talking about how Miami was out here shining brighter than JT. Yeah, there was a lot of talk about how Miami doesn't really show JT a lot of love on social media like she used to. People notice that whenever GT gets into fights or arguments online, Yungmiami stays silent to defend her. But when Miami gets dragged or gets into an argument, JT is right beside her defending her. For example, remember when JT and Cardi B got into it last year? Yungmiami said nothing about it. I'm talking about that nasty fight where Cardi accused JT of being Nicki Minaj's lapdog. Cardi called JT untalented, dragged her for not being a hitmaker yet, and also clowned her for being a prison head, whatever that is. It was just a wild time to be on Twitter because that fight was just nasty. Miami still stayed mute during the whole beef, which raised eyebrows because JT would have definitely jumped in. Miami later claimed that she was asleep during the drama, but folks weren't buying it and they called her out for not having GT's back. But speaking of having each other's back, remember when Yungmiami was catching heat after Diddy had a baby with someone else in 2022? Yeah, Diddy's other side piece, Gina Hu, got into it with Yungmiami on Twitter, clowning her for not being a baby mama. But GT was not having it. She shut Gina down, saying, "He sent you to the chop shop, sit this one out." Then GT was a no-show at Yungmiami's birthday bash last year. Plus, Miami seems more into building her personal brands these days than repping the City G's. She even claimed to have retired from rap last year, saying, "I don't even rap no more. I retire, y'all." That's when fans started whispering about the citygirls breakup. The rumors gained traction when JT unfollowed the citygirls' official Instagram page. Plus, in an interview, she kind of hinted that the end might be near.
Hopefully, the future of the city girls can beat the city girls. And I pray that our egos does not like separate it, or the internet, or guys, or like nothing. You get what I'm trying to say?
Now, the way she brought up the fact that their men might cause a split between them sent off red flags, and it kind of hinted that they were already having some issues with their partnership and the men in their lives. Plus, her expression seemed a bit shady, like she wasn't telling the whole truth. People got a vibe that she just was stalling for time. Well, now there's no dodging it because JT spilled the tea and revealed that she's dropping a solo EP in an interview with Interview magazine. The writer wrote, "Now with her first EP on the horizon, JT is ready to make big moves as a solo act," as she tells her friend and collaborator Callie Uchis. She's coming in hot. So she's already talking about herself as a solo artist, which is not looking good for the City Girls fans. They believe that the group breaking up has a lot to do with Miami. She's been doing her own thing for almost 2 years now while JT was on pause. They're now saying that if Miami had kept the focus on the group, they wouldn't be in this mess. But then they decided to do one last drop before the breakup and announced the release of a new album, Raw. When people heard the news, they were kind of confused about whether or not the City Girls were breaking up or if they were just messing with us. But an insider revealed that the album was not exactly new. I don't know if y'all remember this, but in 2022, they announced that they were going to drop an album. But then, Beyoncé released her Renaissance album around the same time, so they decided to push their album forward because they didn't want to risk it flopping. And because of Beyoncé, well, insiders confirmed that it was the same album finally dropping, and it was a year before they even dropped it. The City Girls were indeed breaking up. From the look of things, not only did they break up as a duo, but it looks like they are no longer friends at all. In all of this, they no longer hang out with each other or even acknowledge each other's existence at all. GT dropped her first solo single a couple of days ago titled Sideways, and people think that she threw some shade at Miami in the song. After GT and Miami fell out and stopped being friends, Miami started hanging out even more with Ari Fletcher, and apparently they're besties now. Fans believe that Miami has replaced JT with Ari, which has made JT super salty. In her new song, JT said, "B, I ain't friendly. I don't have what y'all bees trying to take co. Ain't enough of y'all bees, just phony. Got me looking at them sideways. It'll never be the same. Mother at the old days." Yeah, this was pretty much a confirmation that the City Girls are over and done with, especially since JT has been so absent from Miami celebrations these last couple of days. Miami recently turned a big 30 and has been having some major celebrations with her girlfriends, living her life. But JT was not a part of any of the celebrations, and neither did she wish Miami a happy birthday, which confirms the theory that they have indeed fallen out. But the shadiest part was when Miami announced the launch of a new era, which she is referring to as the Yams era. Almost immediately after JT dropped her song, people dragged her for not being supportive of JT and trying to steal JT's shine. Instead of being supportive, Miami said nothing about JT's new song, didn't hype it, nothing. It was just straight up crickets from her. But instead, she announced her Yams era. Well, JT now feels betrayed over this and has dragged Miami for being a bad friend to her. According to reports, JT feels like the reason the City Girls broke up was because of Diddy, because he allegedly drove a wedge between the two girls by convincing Miami that she didn't need JT. She was better off as Carisha. This kind of explains why Miami has been leaning more and more towards using Keisha for her brand instead of Yungmiami. The insider also claimed that Miami's new Yams era is her way of rebranding herself after the messy situation that went down last year involving her boo thing Diddy. Well, fans felt all types of ways about this drama, and they've been leaving comments saying, JT not being at Keisha's 30th day and I ain't seen no birthday post is very telling. Everyone wants them to stay together, but sometimes you just grow apart. Carisha and JT can't be real friends anymore, and it shows. Out of all the issues that have been going on, and Carisha got time to keep posting, Ari keeps commenting on Ari's posts, but not one shared, reposted, commented on anything of her bandmate's new single. It's weird fake AB behavior. And Yungmiami rolling out this new era during the middle of JT's rollout for her new song Sideways is interesting to say the least. But let me know what y'all think about this drama. Are you rolling with the City Girls, or are you Team JT or Yungmiami? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and then check out this next video.